I had a friend contacted me and asked, why am I not prophesying? And so I told them that I've been through a season where God had forbidden me to speak. God wouldn't allow me to speak. God is only releasing me now to speak. But today what I want to talk to you about is the future of the ANC, the future of the ANC government in South Africa, and what God has shown me in the past and what God has shown me now on what is coming. And it was a year ago where I prophesied about the elections of South Africa. I remember being in the church service and the presence of God all over me, and I prophesied, and the things that I saw the coalition government. I saw a whole lot of different parties rallying together to make up a government, which had happened exactly the same way. But I also prophesied on that same day the future of the ANC. And this is what God said to me. God said to me, I raise up kings and I tear them down. That we find in the book of Daniel chapter 2. God raises up kings. He changes the times and the seasons. Not only does he raise up kings, but he also tears them down. And this is what God said to me about the ANC. God said, I raised up the ANC, and now I am tearing them down. He said to me, the ANC will be no more. People laughed at me when I said the ANC will be no more. Listen to me, and listen to me very carefully. God has said, the God of heaven has spoken and said, the ANC will be no more. So you can put your comments down below on how you think the ANC is going to abide forever. But God raises up kings and God tears them down. He raised up the ANC and now he is tearing them down. What is happening at the moment is we're seeing international intervention. And the rest of the world is putting pressure on the ANC. The last time that happened, there was a change of government. The last time that happened, the ruling party of the time no longer exists. They are now gone. This is what God said to me about the ANC. The ANC will become a byword. They will only be remembered in the history books. That's what God is saying. God said the ANC will be a byword, become a byword. They will only be remembered in the history books. God has shown me two future presidents of South Africa. I'm not going to release their names. One is an older and one is a younger. The one is a businessman, very popular and very influential. He's a businessman. I think he's in his 30s. The older, I think he's in his late 60s. I haven't checked their ages. The older president will root out all corruption. The older president who comes into power will root out all corruption and will establish righteousness and justice. The older president will be like King David, who defeated the Jebusite stronghold. Remember the story? King David goes and he destroys the Jebusite stronghold. It was the seventh and the final enemy, and established Zion in its place. This older president is going to be like unto King David, who is going to establish righteousness and justice in our nation. He's going to root out all corruption. Corruption goes from, at the moment, from the politicians all the way down to the police, to the military service, to businesses. This president, the hand of God is upon him, the older president, to be like unto King David. He's going to root out all corruption. David took out all his enemies. He defeated all his enemies. The younger president will be like unto King Solomon, who will usher in a new era of wealth and prosperity. The gold in South Africa that is mined in South Africa is going to belong to South Africa. It's not going to belong to foreigners anymore. And South Africa shall be known as one nation under God. God has not changed his mind about South Africa. First, South Africa is going to go through darkness before it sees the light. South Africa shall be known as one nation under God. both the older president and the younger president that will come into power, are going to lay the platform and the foundation for a move of God, that South Africa shall be known as one nation under God. God is going to put South Africa on display for the rest of the world to see how the people are going to love one another. They will no longer be divided. The dream of a rainbow nation will all come together, where every tribe, language and tongue all comes together as one nation under God. I'm going to be doing a video on times and seasons. I know a lot of you follow a lot more of my prophetic videos than what you do with the times and the seasons. But I'm going to be doing a video called The Fourth Turning. How history repeats itself every 80 years. Where you have the 40 years of a rise of a nation and the 40 years of the fall of a nation. And what's got to happen to those cycles. On how we break them. That we have to break the cycles. People have cycles that repeat in their lives, in their personal lives. But you've also got to break a cycle of nations. The rulership of nations. But I'll do that video on the fourth turning. But with the ANC, God said with the ANC, every dark deed will be exposed. God is going to expose every dark deed. Corruption is going to be exposed. There's a man at the moment by the name of Rob Hersoff, who's a businessman. And he at the moment is exposing all the dark deeds of the ANC. God said to me that the ANC will not leave office with dignity. That every dark deed will be exposed. And all the corruption will be exposed. There will be riots against the ANC. I heard the word revolt. People are going to riot. They are going to revolt. The towns, cities and the farms will burn. South Africa is going to burn. I saw South Africa burning in 2023. I saw it in a vision and I wept. I went up the mountain. I can remember the day so clearly. And I saw these big billowing clouds of smoke, of fire. South Africa is going to burn. In my video that I'm putting together called The Fourth Turning, I share the rises, the 8 stages of the rise and fall of a nation. South Africa is in stage 8. Most countries around the world are in stage 7 and 8, which is collapse, crisis. South Africa is in crisis. But it has to burn so that the phoenix can arise out of the ashes. Let me tell you about the hand of God, who the hand of God is not upon. The hand of God who raises up kings is not on Julius Malema. The EFF leader Julius Malema, the hand of God is not upon him to be president of this country, nor Jacob Zuma. The hand of God is not upon Jacob Zuma to be president of this nation. But God has raised up one old like unto King David, and one young like unto King Solomon. I have already sent off an email to the older man, prophesying over him. I gave him a personal prophecy of God raising him up to be president, and he knows, this man knows that God's hand is upon him. But I will draw up a letter for the younger, like unto King Solomon, that God is raising up. And finally, I want to say to the ANC, you shouldn't be worried about guys like Rob Hersoff that are you guys are sending him death threats, threatening him, threatening his family, wanting to kill him for exposing you. You should be worried about God's prophets who put their mouth on the mouth of God and who can speak what God speaks about you. And the God of heaven says this to you: you will be no more. You will be a byword. You will become a byword. And you will only be remembered in the history books. You will be no more. God is tearing you down. No more. God is going to expose every single dark deed of yours. And God is going to expose your corruption on what you have been involved in. But there will be an uprising against you. The people will revolt and you will be no more. That is the word of God to you. So you should be more concerned about God's prophets, that the spirit of Elijah rests upon God's prophets, that what they speak comes to pass. So forget about Rob and forget about sending Rob Hersoff death threats. You should be concerned about God's prophets. And I can name a whole lot for you. Let's start with Leon Dupree. That man puts his mouth on the mouth of God and speaks the things of God. You should be more concerned about God's prophets right now, because the God's prophets are saying you will be no more. God's prophets are saying and naming the new presidents that are coming and prophesying about these men that are coming, that are going to rule with righteousness, with openness, with integrity, that are going to usher in healing for this nation, that South Africa will be known as one nation under God. So I know that I've been silent for a while. God hasn't allowed me to speak. I've been going through things. I've been going through severe crushing. But I'm back. And I'm back to put my face into the face of the ANC and to prophesy against you, to say that you will be no more. And I'm here to prophesy about 2 new presidents that are coming in the future, that the hand of God is upon, that God has handpicked, one older, one younger, that are going to usher in a new era in South Africa. But first, the old is going to crumble. It's going to crash. There's going to be riots. There's going to be revolution. And then watch what God does with this nation. Watch. He's going to put South Africa on display, because South Africa shall be known as one nation under God. Bless you guys. I love you guys. You're welcome to unsubscribe. You're welcome to subscribe. You're welcome to send me your hate mail and your comments. Thanks to all those who encourage me, who send me words. Thank you to my friends. Thank you to a handful of close friends who always encourage me and inspire me. I love you guys. Blessings. Shalom.